piece of work. I wanted to get my Santa hat, but no. Cats, am I right? Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a holiday special episode of the WraithCast. My name is Brian of Chamber of the Wraith, and today I am joined by Maddie and Honey. Unfortunately, several of the others could not make it, but it's the holiday season. I totally understand. And it's just going to be a relatively chill one. We're just going to be talking about holiday experiences, favorite movies, or rituals that you have whenever it comes to any of the holiday things and whatnot. And I highly encourage that you guys do the same. If you celebrate Yule, or you celebrate Hanukkah, or you celebrate Kwanzaa, you know, whatever you celebrate season, I would love to know. Or even if you don't really celebrate the holidays and you're just like, I just want to make snow angels and throw snowballs at people. That's perfectly valid. Don't forget to be awesome, my friends, and please join me for the holidays. And we're live! Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the holiday special for the WraithCast, and with me is the ever-so-sweet Honey.
Hello.
And the... I can't think of a rhyme for Matt. Wonderful Maddie!
The merciful Maddie.
Hey, there's alliteration. I'll take it.
Enough. What?
I said that's fair enough.
Yeah. So this one's going to be relatively light. I know Honey's got places to go and things to do in a couple of hours here, so I figured this wasn't going to last that long anyways, but, you know, with the WraithCast, I figured that the Arkham episode wasn't going to last that long, and 5.5 hours later...
Oh, that was your mistake, thinking that I would be I would talk that I wouldn't be able to talk a lot about this topic that I wanted that I brought up and suggested.
That was the fighting game concept, right?
Yes.
Oh, jeez. Anywho, so this is just kind of a random round-robin nonsense thingy, just thinking, like, I pitch a topic and then we discuss it. For instance, I mentioned it in the intro thingamajig, holiday movies. What is your go-to for holiday movies? It can be traditional, it can be non-traditional, it can even not even be a holiday movie. It's just like, you know what? I feel good watching this movie. I'm watching it now. Why? Because it's the holidays and I deserve to feel good after a shitty year, God damn it.
My favorite Christmassy movie to watch is Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I love that movie. It's basically a superhero origin story for Santa Claus.
Is this one of those old school ones that it's like stop motion and whatnot?
Yeah, it's a Rankin Boss film. It is amazing. It adds so many layers of, like, there is so much potential in this movie for there to be a direct sequel that they've never done. Like there's a lot that you could do for, like, a direct sequel. Like, not even any, like, the stuff where, like, oh, Santa's older now, and you're just like, no, you could do stuff with him at the current age that you set him in for this movie, and there's still plenty of stuff you could do with it.
Totally. And I love that it's, like, that you described it as a superhero origin movie for Santa Claus, because I heard that...
This isn't the only time.
I was going to say...
This isn't the only time somebody's made a superhero origin story for Santa.
Right? But on that thing, it's like, staring off with that, my mind immediately went to Rise of the Guardians.
Yes, Rise of the Guardians as well. There's also Grant Morrison's Claws, which is really good.
Indeed. I mean, any excuse to get Hugh Jackman to voice an Australian rabbit, I am keen on. What about you,
For
Maddie?
once, you got his actual accent.
Haha, there you go. Maddie, what is your go-to holiday flick?
I don't have any holiday flicks myself. Like, I've never really bothered to start a tradition. But when I was in high school, I ran like an off-to-school film club where we just, like, show a film each week for the kiddos. And every Christmas, the head librarian would watch Elf, and that's her favorite Christmas movie. So I was participating in her tradition, and every Halloween we would watch Hocus Pocus.
Okay.
But I never had one myself. I just kind of watch whatever movies I have on the queue at the time. So, like, this December, I watched 5 movies this December. I watched The Lost Jedi. I watched New Gods Never Reborn. I watched Robin Hood Men in Tight. I watched Portrait of a Lady on Fire. And I watched The Raid 2, all first watches. And those are my December watches.
Well, The Raid 2, I'm definitely happy you saw because Iko Uwais is the fucking man.
It was amazing. My second favorite movie of the year, hands down.
I haven't seen that many movies this for a while, actually.
I'm not a movie person in general. I think I've mentioned this a couple of times during like the movie episode of the WraithCast and whatnot. Although I have got to admit, I have been brewing an idea that like if we get everybody back in here, like if I get Fishbowl and Mars and Mono and all of them in here, I would love for all of us to do a watch through of fucking Samurai Cop.
Oh yes. But I need to wait for my internet to be good enough so I can actually stream that with you guys because my internet is garbage right now.
Yeah, or what I could do is I could be, well, that's questionably legal, but you know what? Screw it. I'll pen it to you guys later.
Well, no, even if we do questionable means, my internet is not good enough to allow for video streaming.
Oh, even if it's through stuff like VLC and Windows Media Player?
I mean, I guess if I'm playing it on my own computer, like if I download it ahead of time,
like I would be willing to accommodate for that. Like, all I would need is everybody to start on the time code and boom, everybody reacts and laughs their ass off at this godforsaken movie. But on the topic of movies,
yes, what is your holiday movie?
I'm kind of in the same boat as Maddie. I kind of like just absorb things as I go, but my holiday is never complete without at least one viewing of the original Grinch.
Fair enough.
I mean, that movie is to this day my favorite holiday movie, mostly because it's the one I can sit through the most. Just because it's nice and short, and it's Friz Freleng, back when he was working Bugs Bunny and shit, so the animation's still not god-awful.
My mom loves to watch It's a Wonderful Life every Christmas. It gets ridiculous how constant it is that she'll always watch it.
Yeah, my grandma, who's coming up at the end of this week, coming up, she's flying over some mountains to get over here. Whatever. The family will always watch, it's one of the Scrooge movies from the 50s.
Okay.
I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it is a Christmas Carol from the 50s, so that's always watched at least once by the family. And last year, we actually did the thing. We actually did the kind of Christmas movie meme thing and watched Die Hard, so...
God, I hate this stupid argument people have that Die Hard is a Christmas movie. It's not. It's a movie you watch around Christmas time. That doesn't make it inherently a Christmas movie.
That is exactly why I was like, things that are not traditional, like the Die Hard Christmas, like the whole Die Hard Christmas thing, or like, for me, I'm more of a gamer, evidently. Like the one thing I always do is I always find an excuse to play Batman Arkham Origins around Christmas.
Fair enough.
So would that make Arkham Origins a Christmas game? Because it takes place during the Christmas era, even though it is very much not jolly.
The thing is that Christmas is an American holiday, so as a result, it is part of American culture. And so there's a lot of things about Christmas that aren't actually about Christmas, but get incorporated into the traditional American. So if you want to just make a movie or a video game that is American and has elements of Americana in it, then yeah, you're going to include Christmas in it because Christmas is part of Americana. But that doesn't inherently mean that the elements of Americana are directly tied to Christmas.
Yeah, it's like the U.S. flag is not a Christmas thing; it's an American thing. But you know, I'm pretty sure Die Hard has an American flag in there somewhere. So
yeah.
But that's why I said non-traditional, or even if it isn't even a thing. Like Manny said, he watched The Raid 2, which is far away not a Christmas movie. But
yeah, I just watched a bunch of stuff. I almost didn't make it the year without seeing at least one movie a month, but Taylor Swift short film. I watched that in November for some godforsaken reason, and
Hey, that counts.
I've officially watched a movie every month, at least one every month.
And you made up for lost time by watching 5 of them so far this month.
Yeah, and Lady Snowblood is next.
Okay, that just sounds awesome.
Yeah, 1973.
Oh wait, so is snow code for Coke then? Because that sounds like something. That
Oh no, this is a Japanese movie.
Oh, okay. I was gonna.
Yeah, it's
say...
like a Japanese revenge samurai movie. Kind of.
Oh, that's awesome. I was just gonna say because like 70s was the time.
70s was the time, yes.
God, I remember Snowflame. What a crazy fucking... I don't even remember.
I love that Snowflame has made a bit of a comeback. He was in the Catwoman comics before she came back to Gotham.
Yeah, which, that's just bizarre. I mean, I've been on a bit of a DC kick in particular lately, so I got to see some things, and Snowflame was one of them, and I'm like, oh my god. Like, seeing Snowflame's recent appearance in Catwoman's show back up, I'm like, oh my god, they actually brought him back. Good God.
I love it when comics embrace the stupidity.
Unlike certain comics. Anyways, we're not talking about comics here today, damn it. We're talking about the holidays. And it looks like...
Holiday-themed comics.
We'll see about that. Okay, so we did movies. So I presume the three of us mostly have celebrated Christmas type stuff mainly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, Lady Snowblood for posterity. That just looks cool as fuck. There's the umbrella sword. I love that trope so much. Anywho, yeah, so we all kind of had celebrated Christmas one on, but have you guys ever had the chance to at least secondhand experience any of the other holidays like Yule and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa, that sort of thing?
My girlfriend is Jewish, so I try to celebrate. I just like would wish her happy Hanukkah and stuff like that to be with her for the holidays.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, not in my experience. I haven't had the opportunity to partake in any of the other holidays.
Yeah, not my direct experience either, but I've always kind of wanted to do that because I used to have Jewish friends back in elementary school, and that would have been really cool. And hashtag shameless plug for the Chamber of the Wraith Advent thing. What I've been trying to do since at least 2020 is I try to incorporate more than just Christmas music, because everybody knows Christmas music and everybody gets sick of it eventually. And I figured, hey, more representation of holidays that are not, Christmas. Less annoying holiday music, I'm finding, because have you listened to some of the Yule music out there? It's like pagan Christmas parody, and I love it.
Calling it pagan parody is kind of oxymoron, considering Christmas is a pagan holiday.
Indeed, but what I mean by that is the Christmas songs would have come first, like We Three Kings, for instance. Yeah. But then as like a reclamation thing, a lot of pagan music is just Christmas music Yuleized, which I love. I love to death. And I've tried incorporating some Kwanzaa music. Like, I found a band, Honey in the Rock, through my searches for Kwanzaa music, which was really cool, and Teddy Pendergrass as well.
I didn't know you had a collaboration project with Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Wait, what?
You said Honey and the Rock.
Oh. Honey in the Rock. That's what I meant to say. But that's a whole different kind of collaboration if we're going to go that route. But yeah, and then there's a bunch of Hanukkah music that I found as well. Like, unfortunately, the way I found it, I wasn't able to get a lot of artists directly, so I had to Shazam a bunch of it in order to get credits for it. So I actually have some of the Shazam credits here, like Nava Lodin, Benjamin Ungar, Nira Rabinovich, Adala for Yule, Karina Sky for Yule, that's one of those parodies in air quotes I was talking about, where instead of we three kings, it's we three witches.
Fair enough.
But I love that. That was muy fantastico. But yeah, that's what makes me super happy about kind of living in this digital hodgepodge mess that is the internet sometimes. Wherein, we get to kind of experience other holidays and see their traditions and things and, pick up on things like music and themes and stuff. Like, I genuinely really like how, like, I had to look up menorahs for one of my videos, and there are so many fantastic menorahs. Honey actually mentioned this because their girlfriend is Jewish. Do you guys keep a menorah because of her Jewish traditions then?
I don't live with her, so I don't really know the exact length. I believe she has a menorah, yeah.
Okay. Because that's one of those things. And having come from a family that is usually traditionally Christian, at least on one side, I always kind of like roll my eyes like, okay, I got to get the nativity scene set up, even though we're not Christian. We're just here because we like to give people stuff. But, yeah, it is what it is, and it's always really cool to be like, hey, love learning about new stuff and experiencing new holiday tradition thingamajigs. Speaking of new holiday tradition thingamajigs, snacks, noms, food. Well, one of the main reasons we love the holidays so much is because we're allowed to just cut loose with the food. I mean, have you seen how many holiday-themed sweets there are out there? My goodness. So, Maddie, you're starting us off with this one.
Yeah, before I do, I just had to Google something real quick, because I don't think you guys have this in Canada / the States. You might do. But while I Google that, I wanted to... So you know how when Halloween ends, and all the Christmas decorations and all the things go up at once? Like, the second Halloween... Yeah. I agree with that 50%. I think they should start selling all the Christmas food right off to Halloween. I don't think they should sell decorations. But advent calendars and early food.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here and argue in favor of people setting up their decorations ahead of time. Because
not setting up the decorations. I mean, like, stores and, like, corporations selling the act of putting them on the shelves.
I mean, the people can't, the thing is, nobody wants to be putting up their Christmas lights or buying Christmas lights or buying any of that type of stuff and buying holiday decorations and renting decoration stuff in the middle of December when it's frozen. We want to do it during November because it's still warm out.
Yeah, that's actually the point I was going to get at, because what state are you from?
I'm New York.
So you're from New York, where the winters are relatively mild. For a little bit of...
No, I'm from Western New York.
Oh, so you're more inland. Okay.
We're supposed to have some tough winters, but it's currently sunny and shiny and all the snow is melted. Thanks, global warming.
Right? But I mentioned that because, like, you're further south than I am still. So it is... For Honey, who I presume works off of Fahrenheit, it is -1 Fahrenheit, which is -20 Celsius right now, where I'm at. Because I'm Canadian, this is not unusual. Well, what's unusual is that it took us this long to get here, but there are times, genuinely, in December and January, where it hits -40.
Yeah.
Where -40 is actually the meeting point of Celsius and Fahrenheit, so I only have to say -40 for you to understand. Oh my Jesus, it is cold as hell! So, from a safety perspective, I don't necessarily mind, but then again, we keep our decorations. Like, I don't think we've had to replace our Christmas lights since, like, 2009. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, Christmas lights are amazing, especially in terms of cost effectiveness. If you just line a set of Christmas lights along your ceiling and plug them in, they will light up your entire room and be more cost effective than actual light bulbs.
And not only that, sometimes you can get the ones that do the fancy swirly stuff. So, but yeah, so
it's not my thing.
Cool. I was just going to say, Mandy, though, I absolutely know where you're coming from, because it's like, guys, or at the very least up here, because my mom is big into. She has military background, so she's big into military. It's like, why are we selling Christmas stuff before Remembrance Day, people? But that's just...
Nobody celebrates Remembrance Day.
You'd be surprised up here. But the point is that if you sell the Christmas stuff in the middle of November, I think that's a good compromise, because it's not immediate punch in the face. Sweet Jesus, I got tinsel in the nose. But at the same time, it gives those of us who live in colder climates enough time to set it up without potentially dying horrible deaths.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
So anyway,
a Christmas snack that I like to eat that I have confirmed is very England specific. You have it in Canada, not really so much in America, but you call it something different in Canada. You call it mince tots.
Oh yeah.
And we call them mince pies, which is weird.
What? Mince pies.
Do you really?
I've never had one.
I mean, I've just done a cursory Google search, but
mince pies aren't a common thing in America, but they're common enough culturally that we know that they exist.
Well, you also have us as neighbors, right? So, and especially since you're from New York State, which shares a border with Canada, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, but for those who don't know, a mince pie is, it's a little sweet pastry filled with, fruits and spices, and then, just coated in sugar, and it's served, usually around Christmas time. And that's probably my favorite Christmas snack.
It's like a
not that I eat many Christmas snacks to begin with, but it is really good.
It's kind of like a bite-sized fruit pie, basically.
Yeah.
Which any excuse to make a pie bite-sized, I'm in for. But that's just
the only kind of seasonal snack I eat is just pumpkin pie.
Well,
that's because pumpkin pie is goddamn delicious.
I also have my sweet potato pie around Christmas.
Wait, what?
When I was in... What?
What? I have a sweet potato pie around Christmas. My mom makes me a sweet potato pie.
Sweet potatoes are pretty good. When I was in college, I would have 3 slices of pumpkin pie with every meal. Because we have a buffet at my college, so you could just eat as much as you want for $10.
Oh, sweet mother of God, that's a lot of pumpkin.
Sometimes I would buy a whole pie.
Good God!
I love pumpkin pie.
Note to self, send honey a pumpkin pie for their birthday. Anywho, for us, it's, we kind of do the traditional Christmas dinner, less so the snacks and baking, but we're trying to do more of that this year, because what the fuck else are we going to do with this virus that's kicking our asses over here? But
yeah,
so that's one of those things. But one thing I've always had a soft spot for, and I'm gonna air out my opinion. You know those really soft sugar cookies with the icing on top?
Yeah, I don't like those.
I will wolf down a whole box by myself. I love those cookies to death. But then again, it's also because I have a ridiculous sweet tooth, and you have no idea how many Nanaimo bars I have had in my time.
I am definitely on you on the sweet tooth side of things. I'm not a fan of those soft cookies. The mouthfeel just doesn't really work for me.
And that's totally fair. Before I got fired from HomeSense, you bastards! I was working in warehouse, and I found out that they sell powdered peanut butter?
Huh. I mean, that kind of makes sense a little.
It's really strange, but yeah, it's add 2 cups of water to a cup of this stuff, or 1 cup of water to 1 cup of this stuff, stir it up, and you got yourself homemade peanut butter. Why in powdered form, I will never understand, but then again, this is the same place that was selling cowbells, and it was weird. It was very, very bizarre. But,
yeah. I'm with you, though, on the food side of things. My family and I have a huge tradition of just making, big old feasts for Christmas with, big hams and fried carrots and things like that.
Same with Thanksgiving. We weren't able to do it this year and last year because COVID, but in years gone by, Thanksgiving, we did not fuck around. Like, 2 full-size turkeys, because one year we had 40 people at the house, which is a lot. You gotta understand, my dad has 5 sisters, so...
My stepdad is the same. He has a big family.
Yep, and then that just multiplies, and the next thing you know, the whole house is crawling with schnars, and it's like, that's a lot of people. But then the best part, always the best part after a holiday meal, leftover turkey sandwiches.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not a leftovers gal. I like my food. I like to portion my food properly so that there are no leftovers.
Oh, we have, like, turkey sandwiches for, like, weeks afterwards, but that's just because we go big or go home, so...
Yeah.
That is what it is, what it is, what it is, what it is. Oh, here's a fun one. So, we're going to count New Year's in this one as well, because I don't want to do a New Year's special, quite frankly, and we have...
That's fair.
New Year's
That'd be like
special
2 back-to-back.
away. There's nothing important about New Year's. There are ways.
Well, and besides, we got giant robots to talk about at the end of the year anyway, so it's whatever. But with year-end, are you guys big fans of, like, the partying aspect? Do you like to go crazy, or is it just, you know what, I just want to watch shit blow up in the sky and wait and watch the countdown happen?
I've been to 1 New Year's party in my life.
And how
that
was
a New Year's party? My parents will try to do stuff for the things, and I've tried as a kid, but I'll just go to sleep. I don't care.
Yeah.
Valid. I usually just stay up, wait for everybody to get happy with the New Year's, and then just conk out because I've had entirely too much shit going on.
Fair.
Right? But I've not been to any crazy New Year's parties. My brother's been to a few, and he has some war stories, but I don't. And how was your 1 New Year's party there, Maddie?
It was fine. I guess I went to my friend's house.
So you kept it kind of chill?
Well, it wasn't chill. It was like everyone was drinking, and I don't really drink except for like special events, which I drank a little bit because this was a special event. But yeah, I'm not really a big drinker in general. So, and they weren't getting like completely smashed, but everyone was like a little bit, off the level, and I was still like kind of stable. I had like 1 or 2 beers while everyone had like, I don't know, 3 or 4. And then we basically just played Black Ops 4 for the whole evening.
That's fair.
Yeah, but my friend had a really cool room. So, there's lots of stuff to like him. He had like a punching bag because he like does a lot of boxing, and we posted some YouTube to the TV and chilled out, watched that. We had a good time, Like, it was a good time, yeah. But it was just like, oh, God, it was
It's like, not again.
5 of us, 4 of us, something like that, but yeah.
Not again.
I mean, I would do it again. It wasn't like a bad time.
True enough.
Didn't really do much is all.
And yeah, and as Honey mentioned, New Year's is just not their thing.
I just do not care about New Year's. It is a non-holiday for me. I don't like it. I don't dislike it. It's not a holiday. You're just okay. The New Year has happened. It's just one more day.
Fair enough. I always kind of felt that, at least in my head, because of how my brain works, that New Year's doesn't fully clock in until like March. So
yeah, that's true. But here's the thing. Do you think that maybe New Year's isn't a thing for you because you're American? Because my dad, he's Scottish, and in Scotland, New Year's is a big thing in Scotland. Like, you have no idea. Like, they have this tradition, right, where when midnight hits on New Year's, you change your shirt because it's like
New Year, me.
Not New Year, New Me. It's like a legitimate, like, I forget what the symbolism behind it was, but it was like,
you look into this.
I don't know if it was like a full tradition or something my dad did, but yeah, you would change your shirt, and it was kind of like putting away the dirty old year and putting on a clean new year kind of thing.
I don't know, like, we do have my parents celebrate New Year's. They'll try to stay up all night, watch movies until, like, woo, the New Year, but it's never really been a huge thing for us.
I don't know if this was like a full thing or just like something my dad did. I honestly never looked into it because, again, I also do not care about New Year's.
My cursory search has not really...
Yeah, neither is mine, so I think it was just something my dad did. But either way, like, that was a big thing for him, and it was a big thing for a lot of my Scottish relatives, so...
Yeah. Traditional gifts include a lump of coal to lovingly place in the host's fire, along with shortbread, a black bun, and whiskey to toast to a happy new year. Of course, whiskey would be the gift for Scotland. These days, shortbread and whiskey will suffice. Showing up empty-handed is not only very rude, but also apparently bad luck. So don't show up empty-handed to a Scottish guy's New Year's. Even if it's something small.
I always try to show up with something for a party.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, yeah, that's just like common courtesy.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not really a New Year's thing.
But even if it's just a bottle of champagne or something you got from the store, just bring something.
Yeah, or a champagne saber if you're feeling daring. But, you know, I don't know anybody who would actually be crazy enough to use a champagne saber, but maybe members of the Bat Fam would. I feel like Dick would give it a go.
Not Damien would.
Oh, Damien absolutely would. And he would try and do like a crazy spinning move and all that, and Babs is watching off to the side like, kid, you're not even allowed to drink this stuff. Back off. Speaking of, we can finally talk about holiday comics, because one of my favorite things that I always like to bring up is this little piece of DC trivia. Santa Claus is not only real, but he makes it a point every year to waltz right into Darkseid's fortress to drop off a lump of coal and just fuck off. I wish they would bring that back, because I would love, like, if, like, this is, like, the first time Grail, for instance, has seen this, and Grail's just like, Papa, who is that strange red man? And Darkseid is just like, the most insolent insect I have ever had the displeasure of meeting, and it's fucking Tim Allen's Santa Claus.
I would love to see Santa Claus giving the Batman Who Laughs a lump of coal.
See, guess that there you go. And then, you know, what'd be fun as hell is just because I've come to love this team over the years. The Outsiders.
The Outsiders, you're my favorite team.
Yes. When we did the Outsiders episode, I started to fall in love with these guys. Anyways. The Outsiders save Christmas, and Santa Claus himself shows up and gives everybody presents.
Yes, give me that.
I'm just picturing, like, Katana's like, who are you and why are you giving us this stuff? I'm Santa Claus, it's my job. I don't know, I just thought it was really funny. But on the Marvel side of things, did you guys know that Santa Claus is actually an Omega-level mutant?
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. I'll let Maddie take this one.
Oh no, I just know that he's an Omega-level mutant. I don't really know anything about him in Marvel.
Well,
I knew the Darkseid thing, but...
Yes.
Does that mean that the MCU can't use a Santa Claus?
They'll find a way to... I was going to say, they'll find a way to make it work, because it's the MCU, and we know that mutants are supposed to be coming eventually, and I'm just sitting here like, please don't fuck up Nightcrawler and Storm, please don't. Like, Wolverine I know they'll do fine with. I'm more worried about Nightcrawler and Storm.
I don't even think they'll get Wolverine.
Yeah, they're going to get another 6-foot actor to play him.
Well, at the very least, if they got a Canadian guy, I wouldn't be remiss, but, you know. Yeah.
Get Justin Bieber to play Wolverine.
No, fuck you.
No, seriously, Wolverine is supposed to be this huge asshole who nobody actually likes. He throughout all of his original older appearances when he first showed up, He was just an asshole who got under everyone's skin because he worked by himself all the time.
He was never a people person, and then Justin Bieber's 5'4", so that's close enough to 5'3".
And Justin Bieber is the most despised person alive. Even now, after he's done nothing to anybody, everyone hates him.
The only thing that he's done lately that I can think of is that he collaborated with Tim Hortons up here to create like special Timbit boxes called Tim Beebs for charity. And it's like, and people got mad at that because it's just Bieber. Like, you know what? That's not going to stop me from eating Timbits. Bring it on. Come on. Come on.
Anyway, Elliot Page for Mcu Wolverine.
That's another good one.
Not familiar.
Elliot Page, formerly known as I forgot their dead name. That's good.
That's probably a good idea.
I actually have forgotten it.
I was gonna say,
but he played Kitty Pryde in the 2000s X-Men.
Yeah. So, as soon as Honey said dead name, I remembered who they were or who he was, and I feel kind of bad. But at the same time, it's like, that name rings a bell, but I don't know. And then you said dead name, I'm like, oh, Billy fucking Kitty Pryde.
But no, it would be nice to give Elliot a male role to play
especially what a lot of people consider as like the epitome of masculinity too, because Wolverine is supposed to be the macho man. So
yeah, no, that would be very cool to see Elliot Page bulk up for that role.
Plus, I think the only funny thing would be the delivery of Elliot's lines, because I don't know if Elliot's like gone through the full hormonal treatment or not yet, so I don't know what their voice sounds like now. But I can literally only picture Wolverine calling Juggernaut a dickhead as Kitty Pryde.
I'm assuming they've got, like, they're a big-time celebrity actor. They've got the money to afford some pretty high-quality voice training. And if Chris Pratt can bulk up to, like, a whole, like, the massive weight training he did to get ready to play Star-Lord, Elliot Page can get some voice training to be able to pull off Wolverine's gruff voice.
Definitely. And even if it isn't 100%, I'm still supporting this goddamn movie.
Yes.
Because it wasn't always 100% gruff. If you remember the 1997 cartoon, it was just like, I'll slice you apart like a hot knife through butter, buddy. It wasn't exactly Steve Bloom levels of gruff, so.
Yeah.
But then again, who the hell's going to match Steve Bloom levels of gruff? God love the guy, but dude. It's him and Yuri Lowenthal you could just pick out of a crowd like that.
But back to the holiday stuff, what is a Christmas-themed comic book that you guys like? It has to be Christmas, not just snowy holidays.
Well...
Because there are quite a few Christmas comics.
Yeah, holiday era sort of things. Sadly, like, again, I only got into comics pretty recently, so I only remember, like, bits and bobs. I'm pretty sure I saw a bit where Bruce Wayne was helping out with the holidays at some point, but my favorite Christmas comic book media is still Spider-Man Miles Morales and Batman Arkham Origins.
Fair enough. There is also, like I mentioned before, the Grant Morrison's Claus, which is a really cool, epic, realistic Yuletide style Santa Claus story where he's just this he's a guy who just happens to be like chosen by the Fae to like save the day because there's this horrible king about to summon in an evil demon to kill all the kids. Oh. But also there is for a more old school Christmas comic, there is Batman. I believe it's Batman Noel.
Fuck!
Yes, there was a skin for it in Arkham Knight
and Arkham Origins.
Noel. It is a Christmas Carol homage with Batman as Scrooge.
Wait, Batman is Scrooge in Batman Noel. God damn.
I'm pretty sure it has, like, the Spectre in it as, like, his guide.
Oh, that would be... Yeah, see, this suit. I actually really like this suit. And I always try and use it because it's Noel, it's Christmas. As soon as you said Batman Noel, I'm like, oh my fuck, how did I forget about this? And then, this is Jim. Oh, yeah. Of course this is Jim Lee art.
Yeah, Jim Lee. If you need somebody to sell the art on a comic, Jim Lee. Unless it's New 52, then even Jim Lee can't save this.
Nope. But, I mean, he did kind of also do the Mortal Kombat Ninjas and Raiden, and I would kind of like to see him design an entire Mortal Kombat roster. I would really like to see what he does with that, because, I mean, Scorpion and Sub, all three of the Mortal Kombat designs he has done, even like, cleavage-ass fucking Raiden, 10 out of 10. Like, well, except for Sub-Zero, he gets a 9 out of 10 because he wears a binky for a cape, and nobody likes short capes! Unless I'm alone in that.
I don't know. But no, actually, someone I would like to see do a Mortal Kombat designs, Alex Ross.
He already kind of did, sort of.
I need Alex Ross to do all the designs ever. That man is so talented.
Oh, like,
I love his Power Girl so much.
I'm not actually a huge fan of him when he's doing in-canon stuff, like his JSA covers. I wasn't actually a huge fan. I feel like for a more fantastical setting, his stuff just doesn't work because it's too hyper-realistic. But considering Mortal Kombat is literally trying to be as close to realistic in terms of their anatomy and their anime and like their martial arts and combat, that seems perfect for Alex Ross to be involved in.
Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. As promotional stuff from Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe, they got Alex Ross to do some of the art. The designs aren't his, but the art style definitely is.
Mm-hmm. He's a pretty good character designer, too. I saw a thing he did where he designed the Teen Titans based off of their New 52 versions instead of the like what the Titans would be all grown up as their New 52 versions, and it's some solid costume design.
Yeah. Oh God. Speaking of Alex Ross, I decided to look up to see if he ever did Oracle stuff. He never did, but he almost did something that kind of makes my stomach churn, actually.
What? Did he do a joke parody or reference?
No, it's weird. He and Paul Dini were working on, because this would have been around the time of the New 52, so they were trying to, like, bring Babs back as Batgirl for stupid fucking reasons. But the way they did it was so fucking weird. Dini had pitched the idea alongside Alex Ross. The idea was that Oracle would get dunked into a Lazarus pit to heal her broken spine, but something goes wrong, and she becomes a fucking vampire.
That's kind of
interesting rules, actually.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Like,
That's slams.
If it wasn't for the ableism bullshit, it's weird. I don't fully enjoy the idea because of where it kind of comes from, and I'm grabbing this from Screen Rant, so take that for what you will. But, like, this is what he was working with. Like, this is the direction he wanted to take Batgirl in. Like, that's the suit and all of that. And the idea, I'm not the... Again, I will never be a fan of ever, like, having Babs regress from Oracle to Batgirl. No, never do that. But if Babs gets quite seriously injured during a thing, not, like, making her Oracle, but, like, she gets shot up a bunch, right? Or gets beaten half to death with a crowbar. Jason Todd. Then you dunk her ass in the Lazarus pit, but then something goes wrong, and then she became a vampire? I'd be down for that.
I kind of feel like because this was for the New 52, I would have just clean slate. We want her to be Batgirl again. Why even have Killing Joke happen in continuity in the first place? Why not just have her be Batgirl, like, from ground zero?
Yeah, if you're going to completely reboot the universe, Oracle hasn't existed yet. I would not be mad at the New 52 if they did this. But no, they apparently had to specify. I promise I wouldn't rant about Oracle today because I do it too much as it is, but, you know, they fucking did it anyway. Like, hell, if they did as the New 52 complete utter reboot, Oracle has not happened yet thing, where Batgirl of Burnside was her first thing for Batgirl. Then you get Vampire Batgirl. Then you get normal Batgirl. Then you get Oracle. New 52 Babs would have fucking slapped. But oh no.
Actually, imagine if for the New 52 version of her becoming Oracle is she's a vampire and they have to cure her. So they stab her with a stake, but the stake goes in too far and hits her spine.
Well, that far up it would actually kill her, but you know what? It's comic book science. Fuck it.
Well, it could be magic stake or whatever.
Yeah. Anyways, I was just looking at this because, like, Alex Ross has done a lot of characters of these, and again, he did the Justice Society, which, you know, not the most popular, not the most popular individuals that are out there. Like, not in the terms of they aren't liked. It's just that not a lot of people know them, at least at the time. So, I figured maybe he did some Birds of Prey stuff. He did Huntress and he did Black Canary. Where's Oracle? Never did Oracle. But he tried to turn her into a fucking vampire. I don't know how we got onto Vampire Babs from fucking holiday music, but this is why. Oh, that's the next topic. From the holidays, but I love it.
Alex Ross, he probably doesn't do Oracle just because Alex Ross only really cares about Kingdom Come Earth 2 stuff, and that's what the JSA is all about.
Yeah. Anywho, so
anyway, let's get back to holidays.
Yeah, speaking of holidays, holiday music, because we love it, we hate it. At the end of the year, it's just like, please, for the love of God, stop it. But Manny, start us off. Your favorite holiday-based track and your least favorite holiday-based track, and why?
I have a least favorite. They're all pretty good. I don't really have a favorite either. I like Christmas Wrapping by the Waitresses. That one's a fun one.
My least favorite is Little Drummer Boy. That song annoys the fuck out of me.
Valid, but I have some rather shocking trivia for you.
What?
Did you know that Johnny Cash did a version of Little Drummer Boy?
That sounds like something even I would like.
It is...
Yeah, because Johnny Cash rules.
It is bizarre, but again, I found I found it because I was just downloading holiday music to use for the Advent series, and I was kind of stuck because I needed a song of a specific length, and I wasn't looking for it. So I'm looking, and I find within the limits that I was looking for, Little Drummer Boy, and then the name was Johnny Cash. And I kind of did the double take. I'm like, I'm sorry, Johnny Cash did what? And I listened to it. It's actually kind of a bop.
Fair enough. My favorite Christmas song would have to be I had it in my head and then I forgot. What is it? My favorite Christmas song. Fuck! Never mind. I can't remember it anymore.
I do not know. Well, for sure my favorite track, going back to The Grinch, is The Grinch, is the whole song. The most hilarious thing is that whole song is just 3 minutes of somebody talking shit about The Grinch. And I love it. But here's the maddening part. There are 2 covers that I actually really like. There's the Small Town Titans cover, which is right now my favorite version of the song of all time. And then there's the Gravedigger version of that song. And they both kind of do things a little bit differently. Small Town Titans kind of changes some of the lines and ditches some of the more dated ones, just because it doesn't sound cool for certain lines, because it just sounds like comparing him to an arsenic and toadstool sandwich. But Gravedigger actually adds some stuff, a little something slightly more foul, but still kind of kid-friendly. But it's like, this is Gravedigger. This is like a kind of a real grungy, screamy metal band. Why are you covering The Grinch? But I love it. My least favorite is still All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey. I know it's a trope, but it's a trope for a goddamn reason. hate that
song. Honestly, it's a pretty. It's. I like it.
I'm glad you
do. It's just a straight up good
why,
song.
like, service industry people hate it. Like, I despise most of Taylor Swift's old stuff now because when I was working as a dishwasher, the crew just kept playing Taylor Swift music nonstop, and so now I hate it. So I understand why the service industry probably despises Mariah Carey, but I kind of like it.
Yeah, as someone who lives outside of the service industry, I'm glad that you're able to enjoy it because literally whenever I've had a service industry gig that I wasn't allowed to change the music for myself, literally every fifth fucking song during the holidays was Mariah Carey. And as much as like sometimes you get gems like Autumn Hills, It Ain't Christmas, which is another really good one that I recommend if you're looking for like a Christmas lovey song that's kind of fresh. But Mariah Carey, please stop.
Oh. Here's what I don't like at all also. Baby, It's Cold Outside. I hate this song.
Did you hate it? Have you always hated it? Or was it...
No, I liked it growing up as a kid. I thought it was catchy, but it's just so creepy now as I listen to it. Like, she's literally saying no to him. The answer is no, and they keep pushing.
Yeah, like, but Baby, It's Cold Outside, for me, is actually kind of a fascinating window into how culture kind of changes. Like, I'm an Advent, Snopeser. Like, I don't like submit things to Snopes, but I like read a lot of Snope stuff. So they're fantastic with the research. Of course, it's been their job for 30 years. But like the cultural change of like this song was seen as both catchy and endearing to now when it's like, this is a little creepy, guys. That's it's fascinating to me, and I totally get where you're coming from. I'm not a big fan of the song myself either for similar reasons. It's just, to me, it's like, wow, it's amazing what 60 years can do to a song,
Yeah. I mean, it was creepy back then, too. It's just people didn't really care to listen to what women thought back then.
Sad but true. But that's why I still like my favorite of the classic Christmas songs. It's Bing Crosby. I think Bing Crosby did "Let It Snow." Bing Crosby's been pretty consistent. It's that and Andy Williams's "It's the Most Wonderful Time of Year," which is weird because that's also a very common Christmas song during like retail times and whatnot. But it's at least like I at least like it.
Okay. Fuck. What is it? I'm still trying to figure out the name of the song. That was my favorite.
I'm not about to play it through and whatnot.
Yeah.
Whatever. I can't remember the name of the song anymore that I like. I like a lot of Christmas songs. I just can't think of a name for the one that I really like. I love the Trans-Siberian Orchestra Christmas album though.
Shit! What was the one by Slade?
Merry Xmas, everyone.
That was the one. Yeah, that one was good.
The Trans-Siberian Orchestra 2-part Christmas album.
Nobody has heard the goddamn Siberian Orchestra 2-part Christmas.
No, they aren't an orchestra. They're a heavy metal band that plays orchestral music, and you gotta give them a listen. They are amazing.
If you've not heard their rendition of Carol of the Bells, which is another one of my favorite things, especially the Arkham Knight version, and Arkham Origins, and by extension the Arkham Origins...
Wait, Trans-Siberian Orchestra was on Arkham Origins?
No. They both did... let me double check my thing. Oh, that's right, I don't have that. What? Oh, that door should be plugged in. What the fuck? Hold on. Anyways, so both Trans-Siberian Orchestra and Arkham Origins had a fantastic version of Carol of the Bells.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, if you've not heard this, we'll play it after the cast is done because I don't really mind like having copyrighted music under my own stuff because I'm not making money off of this crap. But at the same time, I don't want the podcast to get in trouble. So Trans-Siberian.
It's a full 2-part album. It's not worth playing the entire thing, but it is full of some really good bangers.
Yeah,
like they made it is a really good album.
Like, I'm just gonna show. Like, I will post Trans-Siberia, their version of Carol of the Bells afterwards. You'll love it. It like we've talked about how we have had multiple renditions of Badass Santa. This is his fucking war. This is his war cry music. This is his war tune.
Yeah. Like, yeah, the Rise of the Guardian Santa Claus battles to the Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Wait, does he actually? It's been
no, I'm saying I'm agreeing with you that this is his battle music.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say because like I haven't watched it in a long ass time, so I don't remember for sure. But I honestly would not be surprised if that's actually what went down.
It's so good.
It is very, very good. And that's actually what kind of inspired me to start doing the Advent series, because, like, everybody knows the same 20, 30 Christmas songs over and over and over again, whatever. But I thought at first it would be funny to slap on some Christmas music to Mortal Kombat X at the time for, like, a Christmas special. And that's where that kind of got started. And then I thought, wait a minute, there's more out there than I realized, because, like, the first time I had ever heard Santa Bring My Baby Back to Me by Elvis Presley, for instance, was around this time where I was starting to experiment with music to use. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to see what I can do. And then it was just Christmas music, and then it expanded to the other holidays, which makes me happy because it's like, oh my god, so much good shit that I have missed.
The album I'm thinking of, because they've released a lot of Christmas albums. Night Castle is, in my opinion, their best album.
Okay, that just sounds badass.
It is a really good album. It's a really good album.
No doubt. So that's music, that's food, that's movies. I guess comics. I guess we could kind of move on to the next thing, because I'm not sure if how many other Christmassy video games there are out there besides Miles Morales and Arkham Origins.
Probably not a lot.
Yeah, it's a weirdly not common thing to do things themed around the holidays, but it's one of those things I'm trying to cover my bases for media, so I don't know if you guys...
I think that exists, but I have a sort of a list of game ideas that I want to make in my lifetime, and one of them is a full-on Assassin's Creed-style gameplay of Santa Claus going and delivering presents to people.
Interesting. Like a very kid-friendly Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, where instead of your objective is to go and find different chimneys all around the city to jump down and deliver presents and then jump back out.
And you'd be timed and you'd be rewarded for stealth and
exactly.
That could be cool. I actually would not mind that for a Christmas holiday thing. One thing I think would be kind of neat to explore would be something around a Kwanzaa theming, because Kwanzaa doesn't have a lot of media as is. In the entirety of the Advent series so far, I've only been able to use Kwanzaa songs twice so far. I've used Hanukkah tracks at least 5 or 6 times right now, and obviously Christmas permeates the whole thing. Same with Yule, but Kwanzaa doesn't get a lot of love, so I think it'd be kind of cool to explore that. Excuse me, why am I... whatever.
Now... I was looking at Christmas games, and as expected, there's not a whole lot. It's mostly just, events in non-Christmas games, like Destiny's The Dawning and shit like that.
Yeah.
But I did find this one game from, what was it? I think I closed the article now, but I think it's the Super Nintendo era. And it's called Cthulhu Saves Christmas.
Oh, God.
I have never heard of this game before.
Nope. I certainly haven't, but that's...
I haven't either.
Yeah. It looks funky, I guess.
Wait a minute, this doesn't look like a Super Nintendo game. This looks like Neo Retro. Let me look at
I don't know. Hang on, let me look at the platforms.
Yeah, I when I heard Cthulhu, I felt like, oh, this sounds like one of those indie revival retro games.
Yeah. I think the article said Super Nintendo era. It's on the PlayStation 5, the Switch, and the Google Stadia.
Because
y'all remember the Stadia?
Screw
and on
that.
Steam, of course.
And on the Switch, oddly enough. It's apparently actually reviewed quite well, 83% on
Yeah, it's good reviews.
So, and it's not expensive. It's like $9.99 US.
Christmas-themed video game to play for the holiday.
Cthulhu Saves Christmas. Available now.
I'm not a big Cthulhu fan. I feel he's kind of overplayed.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a you problem. I love that big squid man. Okay, here we go. The monster of Insanity Cthulhu has lost his powers again. I think this is a sequel. And the only way he can get them back is by rescuing Santa Claus from the League of Christmas Evil in this prequel to the... Oh, it's a prequel to Cthulhu Save the World. Join Cthulhu, the Snow Maiden, Baba Yaga-chan, and Dulce Nickel.
Baba Yaga-chan?
As they build relationships, fight the League of Christmas Evil, and catch the Christmas spirit. Fight the Krampus, Mary Lou, and other Christmas League of Evil villains in unique... Wow. This sounds actually really fun.
I love Christmas-themed holiday stuff like that. I'm a huge sucker for just the entire mythology of Christmas. Like Krampus and Santa Claus and all that. I love digging into all of the fantasy and the lore and the ideas going on in that.
Oh, I like this one. More chickens than you would expect in a Christmas game. Pacing that doesn't waste your time. Fun for the whole family.
Also, I do love this actually. Like no legit estimated time for single playthrough on medium difficulty around 4 or 5 hours depending on play style. Like,
oh yeah, that's
I know some people don't like this because it feels like, oh, you're just devaluing the game because, you know, who's to say that you're not going to enjoy hundreds of hours of it? It's more important for those folks that don't have the patience or wherewithal to, you know, play a JRPG for God knows how many hours in order to get everything. This is just a 4 or 5 hour breeze through, no problem.
Yeah.
Only Divine Dark Powers immediately sealed away by a mysterious holy wizard. A narrator then informs the player that the only way to break the curse is to become a true hero. Quickly breaking the fourth wall, Cthulhu informs the narrator that he was eavesdropping and now knows how to break the curse. That's a little synopsis from Cthulhu Saves the World, which came out in 2010.
Yeah, it was the hallmark of the indie retro game genre that was like first making its big swing at that time.
Yeah. So that's weirdly interesting and interestingly weird. Let's see. So that's kind of neat, though. It's like just Archibald shits Miles Morales, and then this fucking thing. I also love the screenshot. Don't worry about my looks. I have the flu.
It's a rash.
It's a rash.
A rash gave me tentacles on my face.
Don't ask. Holiday stuff. Oh, here's one. If there was one holiday tradition that's stereotypical or otherwise that you would give the boot permanently, what would you do and why?
For Christmas, for December-y holidays in general?
Yeah.
Christmas shopping, honestly. Like, I'm the biggest advocate for getting people presents and all that, but I hate how toxic the consumerism is around this holiday. So many bills, so many costs, everything. I just want people to have some fun without having to stress over money.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm totally, like, the pressure to spend, like, everybody jokes, oh, Black Friday is the biggest spending day of the year. It's actually Christmas Eve by the numbers.
Yeah.
Which also means that we are procrastinating, motherfuckers.
I mean, there's Jingle All the Way, which basically makes that whole thing apparent.
Yeah.
So traditions, what we
Tradition
take out?
would to completely remove.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's a tradition. Yeah, it's definitely not a tradition. But I want to remove the preconception that gift cards are like a lazy gift. I thrive on gift cards. They are my favorite present.
I hate gift cards. They just to go all into my trash. I do not care about the cards.
No, I mean like store card, like a fucking PlayStation Store gift card.
Oh, that I
Yeah, like
guess.
a prepaid chip.
Honestly, that just feels like a lazier step than just money. Just give me some cash at that point if you're going to give me a gift card.
Conversely, you can't use real world cash at the PlayStation Store, so
Yes, but if you give me a $5 gift card and I buy something that's worth $3.25, that gift card is now useless because I'm not going to be able to spend the rest of that money on something. That rest of the money is just floating there, not doing anything, and now PlayStation just got free money for that they don't have to do anything with.
Yeah, but I feel like that comes under the pretense of a gift. If someone's buying you a $5 PlayStation gift card for Christmas, fucking punch them, man. I buy that shit on my weekends. Why are you getting me $5 for Christmas? Fuck you. Go higher.
I'm just giving an example. Like it could be.
I know you give an example, but I'm saying like for $5 specifically, that's the fault of the other person. As a Christmas gift.
$60 and then I spend 50 of it on a game, and I've got $10. I've got like $9.99 left in my account. I'm not gonna be able to buy anything with that $9.99.
You can buy Sayonara Wild Hearts, one of the best games I've ever played.
No, probably there's going to be a tax on that, which means it would probably go up to like 10, 12.
Oh yeah, you guys have extra tax, don't you? It's not included in the thing.
Nope, taxes are not included.
Nah,
no,
forget about that.
Stores actually in my area have started ditching the local cafe in my parents' town has abandoned taxes as the price, and they just charge you, okay, this thing is $10. Like, with change? No, just $10. And it was so appreciative. Like, I don't care if they're upcharging me for the cost of it. I will gladly upcharge to round up and not have to get any change collected.
Oh, you're talking about how it's just, no change or whatever. We kind of have a similar thing when we got rid of pennies about a decade ago. Wow, it's been a decade since we got rid of pennies. Holy shit.
I wish we would get rid of pennies already. We don't need anything more than a quarter at this point. Quarters are the minimum we need.
Yeah, or like dimes at a push. But that's just because we actually use dimes up here. Anyway, but yeah, like the thing that they did is that if you're paying in cash, it would always be rounded up to the nearest 5 cents. If you had pennies, they would take the pennies, of course. It's like $1.74, and you had 4 pennies. Here you go, the 4 pennies. But then those pennies would get sent to the Canadian Mint to be melted down until eventually pennies are a collector's item now.
Cool.
Yeah, so now pennies are actually quite rare around here, and nobody does. And when it comes to like a debit card purchase, because it's still an exact amount, they don't round it. But if it's cash, they do round it up to the nearest 5 cents.
Gotcha. I hate that we still use pennies. The only reason we still use pennies is because the company that makes pennies lobbies for us to keep making pennies.
Because it's the only reason that they're able to use the zinc discs that the pennies are made out of, which is hilarious, because now I think pennies are worth 3 cents.
We get our zinc from you guys, even though we have our own zinc reserves.
Well,
because it's cheaper to just buy it from you guys.
Yeah. Well. That sure is something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, the holiday tradition that I would like to see go away, just go away, please cease and desist, is it relates a little bit to work specifically. It's actually more of a thing I would actually like to see implemented than taken away, but it's the same sort of idea. double pay on Black Friday and Christmas Eve for retail workers.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
like up here, minimum wage is $15 an hour, so it becomes $30 an hour for minimum wage if you work Black Friday and Christmas Eve.
Absolutely.
I worked for a $60 billion a company that made $60 billion during the pandemic, so they could probably afford the $3 or $4 million they would probably have to shell out across the entire chain to do that. I don't know. Capitalism sucks, everybody. I think that's actually going to do it, though. We went on quite a few tangents, but I really can't think of much else that we could do for holiday shenanigans, except for maybe just be like, I don't know. I don't know, what are you thankful for this year? I know this year's been kind of tough, but, you know, it's the holiday season. We kind of get to reminisce a little bit, so that's actually part of the reason why I kind of want to do a history of the Chamber of the Wraith, because, like, my God, the movie episode that we did was probably the most amount of fun I've had making a video, like, in the last 3 or 4 years, genuinely. So
I still need to revive my podcast. Yeah.
Well, if you ever do, you know you can drag my ass out whenever, so...
Hell yeah, I'm calling dibs on filling the niche of, like, the movie-specific podcast.
Yes! You know what?
Alice has the comics podcast, and we're like a general topic each week.
Wait, who has the comics podcast?
Dallas on Twitter.
Son of a bitch.
You know, follow him? Yeah, he does the comics collective with Ann and his sister.
Okay, well, I have to get my ass on that one of these days, so...
Well, if you ever want me to be on your podcast, let me know.
Okay, we'll do.
Absolutely. And I think now we can end it here, but I'm going to defer it to the audience. Any of the holiday questions that we have, favorite holiday music, games, movies, traditions, things you would ditch, any of that wonderful stuff that you lovely folks on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and all of these places want to do, comment and retweet and like and, I don't know, send a picture of a cat. I don't know how the internet works these days. And just enjoy the holidays. This is technically being recorded on the 14th. This will go up on the 15th as a great big thingamajig. And I've got some big plans next year for the channel. I will say that right now. As like for gameplay content stuff, things are going to get real fun. Don't forget to be awesome, and we'll see you guys on the other side.
See ya.
Bye.